This process for the latest play that I directed at Doane, RUR, started last spring when the play reading committee selected it. And it was not a play that I really engaged with when I read it. It was something that I found very strange. A lot of it I found really antiquated, and there was some really wonderful, interesting human philosophy in it, but at the same time there was some gender roles and themes of misogyny in it that I really kind of recoiled from. It fell to me to direct, and it was one of those experiences where I was like, okay, how do I make this ours? How do I tell this story in a way that is relevant in 2018 as a play that was written in 1921? It's really hard to kind of engage in a work without the cast. We hadn't auditioned for it yet. I was looking at a lot of very minimalistic set design and futuristic costume design, and that looking at the text, I wanted to update it, and I wanted to know if that worked. And then I also wanted to push the designers to push past putting it in 1921 and putting it in a distant future. So once I had the show cast, what I started to find in rehearsals right away was if I kept an open door to ideas within myself and also with everyone in the room, encouraging designers to come to the room, encouraging actors to have a say, allowing for the stage management table to pipe in, which is not necessarily traditionally how it goes, but I kind of allowed for it. And a wonderful thing started to happen. As we started updating the text, changing the words, changing sort of the story and making it more relevant, I could see everybody in the room, their lights kind of turning on and saying, what if we tried this? What about this word? If we change that in Act 1, then we have to look at how this is said in Act 2 and 3, and inviting all the actors and everybody in the room to have a say, inviting more brains to the table. Realizing that if I, as the director, make that a part of the process, then it's going to weave its way through to the final product. And so what started to happen was, we were all working towards this goal to tell this story really, really well. But the challenge was to, where would I edit those ideas? Where would I shape them? And the more ideas that came up, the more choices I had. And it was this really beautiful sort of culmination of everybody's take to really shape this whole thing into what it is. And one of the things that I'm most proud of about this work, and one thing that I learned as a director, that I think we had a more important education in the process than we had in the presentation, which is really cool to embrace as an artist, to say, you know what, we had an experiment and we went for it, but the things that we're going to take away from is not the 3 days that we showed it to an audience, but the month and a half that we had in creating it together. And that, I think, is at the very heart of what theater does and how important it is to keep it alive.